Okay. Good morning, everybody. Sorry that lots of folks are out of town, so I'm just going to jump in, run through this. Feel free in the email thread if there's any questions or clarifiers, we can have a conversation in there. And I'm going to attach Russell's notes to the email. But let's jump in, shall we? Motivational quote of the day: if your actions don't live up to your words, you have nothing to say. We had a famous president who used a similar quote: speak softly, carry a big stick. In other words, our actions speak louder than words. And if we don't live up to the actions of the things that we're saying, then we should probably just shut our mouths, because it actually just hurts us and those around us. So, in business, I want to encourage you guys. It is so easy to overpromise and then we underdeliver. I want to challenge you. Don't cut yourself short or sell yourself short, but what does it look like to maybe underpromise a little bit so that then you begin to overdeliver and become really that shining star in your clients' lives? Okay, I'm going to include Russ's notes in the email. And we're going to quick jump in on a few forms updates. So there is now a new amendment to prior disclosure. So this is going to be used for any disclosure where there are changes: SPQ, TDS, even NHD, things like that. With the TDS, SPQ, things like that, that the seller is filling out, we really should not have them refilling it out or even jotting and making notes and initialing. If they miss something, you want to use this document and attach it to it. The brokers are really going to start cracking down on it. Again, it's the paper trail. There's a date involved on this document, so it's a lot easier also to be able to go, no, it was disclosed and was disclosed on this date versus, oh, when was that initial made? And then I know some of you guys have folks that are looking to buy rental properties or duplexes or whatever it might be. This is a new form, the RPOA. It's the Rental Property Owner Advisory. If you have any clients looking to purchase or even slightly interested in getting a rental, I would give this to them on the front end. It is going to disclose all the things that they need to consider before they actually buy the property. And it would really behoove us and would not serve our clients if we don't address these things up front. The last thing you want to do, get into a deal, then you give them this and they go, oh, wait, this is not what I wanted to sign up for. You wasted your time, you wasted their time. So again, anybody looking to buy a rental, even if they're not active right now, but they've been talking about it, get that buyer broker agreement signed and include this advisory in that. It'll save you and your clients. Okay. Seller in Possession Advisory, the SIPA. So there's the SIP, the seller to remain in possession. This is a new advisory, and it lays out, because some language changed in the RLA and the RPA, this just lays things out a little more clearly. It's one of the few forms that the attorneys have created that I think reads actually fairly straightforward. So again, if the seller is wanting to remain in possession, the buyer and seller need to sign this. If you're sending an SIP as part of the RPA, you need to send this with it and note it in the RPA. Also, important, remember that RPA is going to go to the lender. And then that could bring up the big insurance question and liability in that holdover. Paragraph 5 kind of touches on some of that insurance and things that need to consider with that purchase. And then short-term vacation rental advisory. So this kind of goes in tandem with the one, two forms previous. If you have somebody that's looking to buy an Airbnb or VRBO or anything like that, or let's say they've got that ADU in the back or mother-in-law unit, whatever you want to call it, and they want to do short-term rentals, if they're looking for something like that, they really need to sign this they need to know. And this will also cover your own butt in case something comes up after close of escrow. Okay, we've got some changes. So this probably looks familiar. It's an addendum, right? Well, they've changed things now. So there is this addendum, and I want you to note right here. Form use notes. This form is intended to be used in buyer, seller, or tenant housing provided transactions. For all other situations requiring an addendum, use an addendum generic. A change or addition to a previous provided seller property questionnaire, again, we talked about that, is now the ADP. Or to change the terms of an executed agreement, there is the amendment of existing terms. So there is a chance that if you have another type of transaction going on, there's now this generic addendum that can be used. Now, you could just use this instead of this if you want to. Just go forward with using this. However, they do really recommend, again, if it is still a buyer, seller, or tenant housing transaction, to use the regular addendum. However, they did find this need to add this additional addendum as an option. Okay, really what you guys are wanting to talk about. Okay. So as of last night, interest rate 6.81%. This is what's been going on last 6 business days. I didn't check it this morning, but 3 basis point changes over the last 6 days, up and down a little bit. But again, that far column, that year-over-year change, we are really in kind of that window of where we were last year, maybe a little bit cheaper to borrow, but really it's about the same. And again, I like showing context if you guys know me. So here's going back all the way to July 1st, 2020. Okay, we all remember that. That's bye-bye history, not coming back. But I want to point out Monday, September 26th, 2022. So almost 3 years ago is really when we first started getting into the almost 7% rate. So just for us as a mindset, and even if we have clients that have held over the last 3 years, the truth is 6 to 7% is really where we're going to be at probably for a while. Even if the Feds cut rates, please remember, that does not always mean mortgage interest rates go down. Mortgage interest rates are tied more to the 10-year treasury, not the Fed rate. So again, we just want to make sure that we're communicating truth and facts to our clients and not misleading them when we think we're doing a great thing, like, hey, date the rate, marry the house. Well, if you told them 3 years ago and they've been waiting for the rates to drop, they're probably not too happy with you because they didn't think they'd be in a dating relationship with their interest rate for 3 years. So again, context, truth, and data, let those things guide your conversations. Okay, Chico, 155 active listings, 89 under contract, the median list price $555,000, and that average days on markets has crept up just a couple days. Here is, I just noticed a typo, sorry about that, a number of price reductions and days on market. So what I think is really fascinating is the 400 to 500 range. There have been 22 price reductions. Those 22 homes have been on the market for an average of 77 days. So there's deals to be had in that range. People are still trying to push the market. And I think it's important to note that still almost half of the active inventory has experienced a price reduction. So if you have clients, they're discouraged. This is just, you don't even have to show them this graph if they're buyers. You can just have the conversation with them. Hey, half of the listings on the market have experienced price reductions. If the house is priced right, it's going to sell. But let's not get discouraged. Let's keep our eyes open. Maybe on the homes that have been on the market for 30, 45, or maybe 60 days that are a little bit out of your budget, we might be able to talk them down because they might already be considering that price reduction. And then again, great information to be able to share with the seller. Hey, do you want your house sitting on the market or do you want to sell it? Do you want to chase the market down with that much competition also chasing the market down? Last 7 days, 17 new listings, 26 have gone under contract, which is up quite a bit over the last few weeks. 18 price reductions and 19 homes sold in the last week. Okay, last 30 days, we've had some changes in some numbers. 79 homes sold in the last 30 days. That is up almost 30% from last year. Now, if you guys go back and look at the slides from 3 weeks ago when we looked at June this year compared to June last year, sales were actually down like 22%. So we've had a significant increase in the number of homes sold compared to the same time last year, and honestly, in a 3 week period. So just something to note, something to think about. There are more homes starting to sell now. Part of that is more inventory, but there are more sales happening. Days on market for those 79 is up a lot. And the median list price and sales price, you guys can see, it's only up a little bit compared to last year. So again, if you go back 3 weeks and look at those slides, the median sales price was up June over June. I think it was like 10% ish. So again, if we look at inventory, we had a lot less inventory in April and May. That means those homes closed in June, so it drove the price up. We now have more inventory, we have more sales, so that sales price is not increasing as drastically because we have more inventory, because interest rates have not changed that much. That's really the big story, is the amount of inventory that we have on the market. Okay, so for those homes that sold versus pending and active, man, that 400 to 500 range, guys, I hope you don't have a new listing coming up in that price range anytime soon, because there is a crap ton of competition. A third of all listings are in that price range. A third. That is a lot of listings. And even in the, if we add the 500 to 600 range, almost half of the market sits in those two price ranges right there. Also, if you've got 1 million to 1.5 million coming on the market soon, there's a lot of competition in that price range as well. Okay, so for the homes that sold in the last 30 days, this is the under asking, at asking, over asking. Again, look at that 400 to 500 range. We have the most amount of competition right now in that range. It is also the price range where we're having more homes go under contract and selling for under the ask price. Again, increased inventory lowers demand, lowers sales price. So great conversations to be having with your sellers if you have listings in these areas, also with your buyers if they're in this price range. And number of new listings. So we've had 71. We've got 2 days left to go. We could have 8 homes hit the market in the next 2 days. We'll see. I don't think we're going to have 11 homes hit the market in the next 2 days to meet where we were at last year, but I think we could hit what we did 2 years ago for new listings. And then sales. So you can see here we've had 75 homes sell so far in July. That's up a little bit from last month, and we're still rated between the last 2 years. Okay, gonna quick give you guys a quick tech update in the world of EXP. So if you, maybe you've seen the emails, maybe you haven't, but Facebook Workplace, where all this collaboration has happened, is all getting moved to Slack. So you should have received an email from EXP. Workplace isn't fully going away, but come August, it's going to be read-only. You won't be able to post, you won't be able to interact, nothing like that. So I'm just going to go over a couple things with that. Again, Workplace is moving over to Slack. This email actually went out this morning as a reminder. So check your emails. This is announcing a toolkit for moving over to Slack. So if you scroll down to the bottom of this email, there's a button there, but it takes you to this page. So again, end of August, Workplace becomes read only, no interaction. And you can click that button, join the community to sign up if you want, or you can scan this QR code. We can do a training, maybe in a team meeting on Slack, interacting with it. But it is actually a really good platform, but it is vastly different than Workplace. So it might take a little bit of getting used to. We can also talk about, instead of doing text in our group and things getting lost, and our group can actually create a Slack channel just for us, and we can do all of our communicating in there as well. Slides can be shared in there. I mean, you name it. So we can talk about that as well. Okay, these are the trainings available to everybody because of the organization we're in. Obviously, second and fourth Tuesday for the team meeting. Now, we haven't met for 3 weeks, so I got rid of the coming soon page because a lot of those have come on the market. If you have a coming soon, reply to the email, reply all, and share the info that you can share. Also, if you've had a new listing come on in the market in the last 3 weeks that's still on the market, please add that. And then also, if you have any haves and wants, definitely share those as well. But that's it for this week. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your July. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.